I'd like to underline it's a personal Christian perspective, given the issues involved. We're each asked to give the background in our tradition of the creation stories. And for Christians, the Hebrew scriptures with the description in Genesis 1 and perhaps another one in Genesis 2 actually provide for an understanding of creation out of nothing. That does seem to have some parallels with the Big Bang theory that we saw in the journey of the universe, and some of the stages in those chapters mirror some of the later evolutionary stages. But others prefer to see that not so much as an evolutionary story, but as a story in which God very specifically has acted in each particular stage. The understanding of, for Islam and for Jews and for Christians does have that resonance that comes out of Genesis, I believe, of the Word of God speaking into the midst of the void and then life beginning. The film's an amazing film. It's a very positive film, and it's actually very sympathetic to the world religions, or even though they don't get much of a mention. At the beginning it says that each tradition has its own creation story, and at the end maybe there is wisdom that will come from that direction. But apart from that, it is actually a self-contained, pretty rational description of what science has shown to be the case. And it picks up the favourable bits out of the scientific story of self-organisation, producing greater complexity and then symbolic consciousness. There are a lot of other alternative points of view in the scientific world. And because the film starts with all of creation and comes back to the earth, we're focused on the questions of the earth. Two things. There are now the discovery of 2,000 planets around other suns. What does that mean for us if life is discovered in other places? And the sheer size of the universe. Maybe this is just the right one, some scientists say, because they're not only a trillion galaxies, there are a trillion universes. The mind explodes, and one perhaps understands what Buddha has said. Carl Sagan in 1990. Did I hear a rattle?
You heard something.
I thought it was a bit soon. Carl Sagan in 1990 asked NASA to turn the cameras of Voyager 1 back after the Voyager 1 was just leaving the last planets in our solar system, to turn the camera back and take a photograph of our solar system. What is extraordinary in that photograph is that there is one little dot of a few pixels of light. He subsequently wrote a book called The Little Blue Dot, and that is Earth. That was his expression. And he talks of the wonder of what it is that all of our human history, all of our thought, even the discovery of the universe has happened on that one little blue dot. How wondrous. But the disturbing issue for me is that he goes on to say that the world religions are a source of superstition and do not enable us to accept that wonder for what it is. We live in a rational picture here, which is wonderful. But there's not only rationality, that enables us to see a world that has happened, that has come into being. I believe in the midst of life also there are God happenings which bring new dimensions, not just to the creation story, and in particular for Christians, our understanding of the resurrection of Jesus blows a lot of rational categories awry and asks us to perhaps even think of other possibilities. Maybe the scientific story, it's got to be learnt and it's got to be known, but it can be also, I think, a straitjacket in the future. Thank you.